So, at this point, the Avata 360 isn't really a mystery anymore, and that's exactly what makes it so interesting, because this isn't about speculation or wild guesses. This is about stepping back and understanding what DJI has been very deliberately building, especially as the clock keeps ticking on a potential US ban. Because the retail box is already leaked, promo images have circulated everywhere, FCC filings have quietly confirmed battery specs, and when you connect all the dots, the Avata 360 starts to feel less like a risky experiment and more like the natural flying evolution of DJI's Osmo 360 platform. Because at its core, this drone is built around a true dual-lens 360-degree camera system that mirrors what DJI already perfected on the Osmo line, but now redesigned specifically for flight. And the rumored dual 1/1.1-inch sensors immediately explain why DJI is confident pushing high-resolution spherical video, ultra-detailed panoramic stills, and professional-grade dynamic range. Because this is not action cam level hardware strapped onto a drone. This is Osmo-grade imaging engineered for aerial movement. And that distinction matters, especially for creators who care about image integrity, color science, and post-production flexibility. And what really elevates the Avata 360 is how DJI reportedly handles the transition between full 360 capture and traditional FPV flight. Because instead of relying purely on digital cropping or software tricks, leaks suggests the Avata 360 uses a physical rotating gimbal mechanism where the camera system actually reorients itself depending on the mode you're flying in, giving you full spherical capture when you want total creative freedom, and a proper forward-facing FPV camera when you want precision, immediacy, and speed, which tells us DJI wasn't willing to compromise either experience, because the entire philosophy here seems to be fly once, decide your angles later, but still feel fully connected in real time. And that's a massive shift in how FPV footage is traditionally captured. But imaging is only half the story, because safety becomes exponentially more important on a 360 drone where you're not always framing straight ahead. And this is where the Avata 360 quietly separates itself from every previous Avata model, because leaked documentation points to true omnidirectional obstacle avoidance powered by LiDAR, not just visual sensors guessing depth, but real-time LiDAR mapping that creates a constant protective bubble around the drone, acting like a silent co-pilot that intervenes when things get tight without turning the flight into a fully automated experience. And this matters because it allows creators to focus on creative movement instead of constantly worrying about unseen obstacles, especially when capturing dynamic environments like forests, urban spaces, or indoor cinematic runs. And then there's connectivity, because the Avata 360 is expected to debut with OcuSync 4.0, pushing rumored transmission ranges up to 20 kilometers, a noticeable jump from the Avata 2's roughly 13 kilometers, which immediately positions it as a platform built for longer, uninterrupted cinematic sequences. And endurance backs that up, because FCC filings list a 38.67 watt-hour battery, roughly a 22% increase over the Avata 2's 31.7 watt-hour pack. And when you factor in a heavier dual-lens camera system and LiDAR hardware, this battery bump strongly suggests flight times approaching 25 minutes, which is genuinely impressive for a ducked FPV-style drone. And all of this explains why the Avata 360 looks the way it does. Because compared to the Avata 2, this new design feels more industrial, more serious, and more purpose-built, with the bright orange bumper rings removed in favor of a darker, cleaner frame, the batteries shifted toward the rear to counterbalance the heavier front-mounted optics, and a reworked airframe that clearly prioritizes stability and balance over aesthetics. And this was not a cosmetic refresh. DJI fundamentally re-engineered the drone to support its new role, and price rumors placing it between $999 and $1,200 for a Fly More combo make its positioning very clear, because this isn't meant to replace the Avata 2. It's meant to sit above it as a premium, creator-focused tool, and this is where the US ban conversation becomes relevant, but only in terms of timing and availability. Because the looming restrictions don't change what the Avata 360 is or what it's capable of. They mainly affect where and how it can be sold, supported, and serviced, meaning we could easily see a scenario where the Avata 360 launches globally but faces limited or delayed availability in the United States, which for creators is less about raw performance and more about access, warranty, firmware updates, and long-term ecosystem support. And that's exactly why the Avata 360 matters right now. Not because of fresh leaks, but because it feels like a fully realized product arriving at a very complicated moment for DJI. And when you strip the politics away, what you're left with is one of DJI's most deliberate ideas in years, a platform that blends Osmo-grade 360 imaging, true FPV flight dynamics, LiDAR-based safety, long-range connectivity, and unmatched post-flight creative freedom into a single flying system. And if this launch goes the way DJI intends, the Avata 360 won't just be another drone added to the lineup. It will quietly redefine how FPV footage is captured, edited, and experienced. And if you're a creator, filmmaker, or drone enthusiast watching where the future of aerial storytelling is headed, this is one product you absolutely need to keep your eye on. And my recommendation is simple. If you already fly FPV and want maximum creative flexibility without sacrificing control, the Avata 360 could be the most important upgrade DJI has ever made. And if you're new to FPV, this might be the safest and smartest entry point yet. And for everything else happening in the world of drones, cameras, and future tech, this has been TechVerse.